Let's make a warehouse storage that also acts as storage terrain. For the warehouse, I'm actually going to build two buildings so that I could stack on top of. One of them is going to be 8x8 to just fit the standard of my other buildings and the stackable building system that I got going, and the other one is going to be 8x4, and I'm just going to allow me to stack them into one cohesive unit, or again, just for modularity, be able to separate them. So because it's a warehouse, I'm going to go ahead and build some different doors here, and I'm not going to use the one on the template. Right now we're going to use some bay doors. We're going to pick an arbitrary spot. I'm going to line it up with the mat, and I'm going to pick 3/4 in and 3/4 in. I'm going to try to find the center too, and we'll just pick 1/4 in or 3/4 in from the center. So 3/4 in and 3/4 from the center. And you got two bay doors basically that are going to be used. All right, and we'll pick a height. We'll choose 2.5. That seems like a pretty good size door. Go ahead and measure these out now, and then we'll go ahead and cut them. So what I did was cut off 3/16 on either side, and then I used that to transfer to the other one. These are going to be the sides. So it's the same concept as making up the difference of the thickness of the boards that I'm using. And instead of using the flush cut this time around, I'm going to go ahead and use this method, and I'll show you why in a second. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and create some designs, and I'm going to do it with the paper on so that I can erase, make adjustments, and see exactly how I want it to all fit together. So it was just that simple. I measured out a couple of sides, started drawing lines, and then I used those lines to transfer the correct angles with a small straight edge. Hopefully the video shows that. Now we're gonna go ahead and just score these lines and then go ahead and peel, and that'll give us our panel effect. All right, now we're gonna assemble them. We gotta keep in mind which ones are our sides and which ones are our fronts. Front, back, and sides. We're warming up that hot glue, and I'm gonna see you when we do what we do. All right, it's time to work on these windows. So I'm gonna do it like my last video, the rough shape. All right, here we go, the hot glue. Now for the green. I'll let that dry and we'll have to do a second coat. I'm gonna go ahead and make the door foam too. We're gonna try it out. It's gonna be an easy design here. But first I'm gonna make some door jambs. I'm just gonna use tacky glue. So now I put the door jambs in. I got this piece of scrap here. I'm gonna go ahead and just put it right on the bottom. We're just gonna continue with this tacky glue. All right, we'll go ahead and wait for that to dry, and then we'll start making some designs in it. So along with my ramps, I went ahead and cut strips, and these are gonna go stack. And then I just cut a 1/16 thick of just any styrofoam. And this is just gonna create, I'm gonna put them here, and this is gonna create the 1/4 inch of depth. Just gonna go ahead and use tacky glue. It's getting late in the night. It's a good reason not to melt the foam too, right? Even though it probably won't. Nice thing about the tacky glue is it let me work. So I kind of get to line them up, still have time to play with it, stay with it, and be okay with it. Last portions are gonna go out top, but I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna let it dry. We'll pick this up on the next hobby night. All right, so I went ahead and cut 2 stacks, and we're gonna go ahead and start putting them down. Okay, I just cut 2 scraps of cardboard just to give it a little bit of backing. All right, that's it. I'm gonna take this to the Proxon and I'm gonna go ahead and slice through and come back and then put the ramps in. So as I was flipping it, I accidentally put some pressure and broke this. I guess I scored too far down here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put some backing to it. That will keep things stable. All right, now that we have that, I'm gonna go ahead and start peeling off the facade. All right, even though it's flimsy, I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to deepen up these lines here. So just a mechanical pencil or any pencil, you could use a Sharpie. You guys probably seen this done a million times over, but it's worth mentioning just for completeness of a video. Really use anything. I like mechanical pencils. They have, let me see here, they have a nice shape to them that creates like an even bezel. So I like to use the mechanical pencil for it, but a lot of other instruments have that too. I really don't like a pen. I usually use it without the lead poked out. So I'll just hold this and push it in. Here I am explaining a mechanical pencil. Probably insulted a lot of you. Sorry about that. But you know, you never know, and I don't assume. So now I'm trying to be easy because I understand that it's a little bit flimsy. Once I get the roof, it'll be a little bit more secure. I feel inspired to deepen up these lines. Something about getting these lines deep really adds the depth to it and kind of brings it to life here. Kind of inspires you to keep going. That's the way I feel about certain things, you know? Certain steps really bring it out and you can start to see exactly what you're working with, and it kind of motivates you. You know, I also like doing steps that really bring out the piece because it just starts to shape and give form. I'm not sure who's interested in my philosophy, or maybe you share my philosophy. Let me know down below. All right, so now time for the roof. The same way we've been doing the other buildings. Gonna go ahead and use the square to square it up. All right, we got the glue on. Now there's no specific reason why I'm using cardboard as the roof. It's just a scrap that I had. Can't get this squared up. All right, we went for the tacky glue like all the others, but for some reason it wasn't working. So I went ahead and made a 90-degree angle here. And then from here, I marked out 8 inches where it's supposed to be. And I'm gonna go ahead and do another 90-degree down. This should give me at least 2 of the corners. And hopefully, I also went ahead and cleaned the tacky glue off for here so we could reset. But as soon as we're certain that that hot glue is ready, warmed up, and nice to go, we got one shot to do this. Sorta, kinda, right? Anyway, we're doing it one shot. That's all we got. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's just do it. I think we still saved it. Oh, it's warped. We gotta try to salvage this. Epic failures. Epic failures, y'all. My foam board warped a bit. I know it warped here, it wasn't plumb, but thinking that it warped on the top end. However, I think we salvaged what we could. There's a gap here. I think we're gonna let this sit for a little while. I know that hot glue dries really fast, but considering the fact that kind of open still, yeah, you got openings here. This happens in a project, doesn't go exactly as planned, and you kind of just gotta keep going and don't throw it away, you know? Not everything's perfect, so you're gonna try to salvage it. I think the best way to do it is to let it sit for a little bit. He's gonna let the hot glue really dry up, especially the latest hot glue that we picked off. I'm gonna come back in maybe like 15 minutes, and then we'll try to cut it out and see what we can salvage and hide. And all right, come back in 15. All right, so I came back and cut it off, and now that I cut it off, it doesn't look too bad. So I think we salvaged some of those spots where it was lifting off. You have, you know, this right here. But I think what we'll end up doing is cladding it, and it'll cover up everything, and then the parapet wall will help seal that up. So we'll have to make a few adjustments to the measurements, because we usually use 1/4 inch just to cover this, and then 3/4 inch for the parapet. But we'll probably go a little over just to compensate for something like this. See it right here? Yeah. So it's cool. And then we'll get to the part that I'm excited for. So, all right, enough babbling, crap, Nick. Show me something. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and try to execute my final step that I wanted to do, my idea, the storage, the thing that the video is based on, my storage unit inside my warehouse, right? A little poetic. My ruler here is 1 inch in. It doesn't matter where it lands really and how big it is. So I'm just picking numbers here. I'm just gonna go with 5. I think that's good enough. I'm gonna line it up. I'm gonna go ahead and just draw now and start boxing it out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit this 5 and this 5. And then I'm just gonna come back around with it. We got our 5x5 box. So again, you can see it's skewed a little over here, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same. Should be all the same. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut this out. Gotta stand up for this. Try not to put any pressure on the foam board here. So I started making walls that were 3.5 high to match the wall height. This is gonna sit on the inside. I hope you can envision it. And it's also gonna sit on the edge here. So this will be the floor and this will be the wall height. Let's put it together. I'm gonna need 3 more of these. So I'm gonna have to cut out more cardboard here. And because this is 5x5, let's confirm that. I should be able to get away with just making all of them the same height and not having to compensate for the corners here. So this should make it easy. I have 4 walls. I have the floor, which will be able to make the box. And then I have the ceiling to cap it. So let's go ahead and start assembling. Should try to get this as precise as you can because you probably don't have a lot of room. We're gonna keep going around all 4. So we're gonna try to be as precise as we can so that we don't mess up the 3.5 going up vertical. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try to skip a step, hot glue this, and put this right on. So, all right, so I think the final moment of it got distracted, and I think I did it off camera. The last piece of it is to create some type of lip so that the top can just sit on it without going through. I don't need to be precise with it, I just need to create the lip. I went ahead and cut 4 pieces so that this side is facing up. It's nice because it's indented a little, so I don't have to be precise putting it. I could just put it right to the roof. All right, so it's kind of tight fit. So we're gonna just try to shave off just a bit without going overboard. All we need to do is really one side because that changes the whole dimension of everything. So hopefully that was magic. Hopefully that was magic. There we go. All right, the last part is this door here before we start painting. So we're gonna do something simple, and I'm probably gonna put some type of just doorknob here and have it make a regular door. No, a last minute change here. I'm gonna make it so that it goes, no. Oh, let's see. What do I do? What do I do? Got many options here. I know what I won't do. What I won't do is make it look like it splits both ways. I made that mistake before. Honest mistake, right? But thanks for pointing it out. So we're gonna think harder and smarter about how we're gonna make this door. All right, enough rambling on. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it slide this way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit this off the edge, come down, and come down. I'm gonna come back over it with a black Sharpie here. Again, this little bit here, you know, even if you imagine it opening this way, we have less here and more here. Less wall here, more here. Nice thing about Sharpie is that it melts the foam. So I think it's simple enough with room to upgrade. So now I'm just deepening the lines, melting the foam just a little bit as I pass through. I like it. Let's start painting. So while I'm waiting for my buildings to dry, probably gonna give it a second coat because I can see the transparency here. I'm gonna go ahead and build a handle for this, but also a piece of scattered terrain. So I found this little greeble here. Can't remember where I got it from, but gonna use a straw, and I'm gonna dip into my bag here again. I'm just gonna use that as a platform here. Hold it there for a sec. All right, we'll go ahead and spray this. I have a metallic spray paint. I'll probably show a picture of it, and not sure what color I'm gonna go with this yet, but I definitely want something different. All right, so while things are drying, I'm gonna go ahead and start building out those spacers. Now, usually I would go with a 1/4 inch just to cover up the corrugation. However, we also wanna cover up some of those gaps that we had when we put on the roof. So I think I'm just gonna do something like a 1/2 inch and call that a day. We'll have to make that up with the parapet wall. So the parapet wall will have to go higher. But just to make it easy and make the measurements easy on us, go ahead and do that. I have some of these strips from a while back. I cut extra during my journey. So we're just gonna start there. Make it easy. All right. I'm pretty sure that'll get us one side. So now for the parapet walls, we're gonna add the new dimension of the spacers, which we made 1/2 inch. And we're gonna also add the 3/4 that our rest of our system is based on. So that math there is 1 1/4. When I line it up, I'm just gonna use the mat here. I'm gonna line it up and do the best that I can. Go ahead and cut this first. And we are going to need 4. Let's go ahead and make those green. I put 1 down, but gonna go ahead and make sure that these spacers are even with the top of the roof. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and super glue this on. Just gonna make sure that it's real secure. I'm gonna be lifting it by here, you know? I also went ahead and sprayed another little greeble here. I'm just gonna put that over here like a card reader. All right, so that's it. That's all the footage I have. A lot of rookie mistakes filming, but in essence, to finish it off, I just did the parapet walls. Mine are 3/4 of an inch high, to compensate for a miniature that's roughly about 1.5 inches tall, the normal size. So I went halfway up. I just did the green like in all the other videos, and that's it. I think that's all that I'm missing. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys got something out of it. I hope that it inspired you guys to build some terrain that acts like storage. If you have storage deficiencies or just issues with storing all this terrain that we build and we accumulate. If you guys consider supporting, the easiest way to do it is to hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. I'm gonna be doing this, be doing more. I just love this hobby, so I just want to share all my inspiration with you guys. Another way you guys can support is on Patreon. I have a Patreon account, so it's just to keep the supplies going and just keep me afloat with being able to get the content out. Little side note, actually, from Idiot Luggage, I want to thank you for giving me this little idea. You know, you have the storage, and I'm not going to go ahead and paint that stuff up inside, but you don't have to use it as storage. You can still use this same concept and build an interior and build a lid for it. So if that's a route that you want to go, that is out there, it's out in the world. So thank you, Luggage, again for that. And I'm going to leave everybody with that. So you guys have a great crafting. I'll see you on the next video. Signing out. Peace.